Hello and welcome to The Market Capitalist. I am Dominica Johnston. Thank you for tuning in. Creative destruction. You've probably heard of it if you've taken a couple of economics classes, but in brief, it is the destruction of one industry or company in sake of another industry or company that essentially changes the framework or frame of thought of a group of people or society, and therefore makes one group industry obsolete while the other one grows and flourishes in its place. Think of the horse and buggy and the automobile. The automobile came, horse and buggy went away. Very clear example. Social media, mobile phones. A lot of reports that I'm reading are saying that this is going to be the social media and mobile phone decade. And by mobile phones, I'm talking about smartphones. We've seen a very fast pace in terms of the adoption rate of social media and mobile phones over the last 4 or 5 years. Social media, in my mind, started picking up about 2003, 2004, and then slowly gained, and somewhere around 07, 08 just kind of popped and really got that momentum going, and now is essentially a staple of so many people's online lives that it is no longer what's thought of as a fad, but something that is clearly here to stay. Mobile phones, in particular smartphones, in the last 3, maybe 4 years, if you stretch it back that much, they've also come a long way, where you have the iPhone introducing itself and really setting the benchmark for what we think of as smartphones today. And now you have Google with their Android platform coming along and being the other main rival to them. Also, along the way, you have BlackBerry and some other devices that provided that smartphone interface. But you have such an increase in adoption of these smartphones and the integration of things like social networking within the smartphone through the apps that are running on smartphones, that you have kind of a marriage between two different concepts that fit so well together that they essentially go hand in hand, and most people think of them almost as indistinguishable between each other, where I have my smartphone so that I can be on Facebook. I have Facebook so that it can run on my smartphone. It's kind of like interlocking between my fingers here. Just they fit really nice together. And therefore, there's a lot of potential between both, or within both areas, for things like advertising and other types of monetization of revenue. What I see, and if you're an investor that's interested in growth stocks, I think the mobile or the smartphone sector, and particularly the companies that are doing social networking or development on the smartphone side, this is a place that you're going to want to be at least within the next couple of years, if not further out. And I say this because there's such opportunity in terms of just continued growth between social networking and smartphones, but there's also the opportunities that haven't arisen yet. One area is advertising in terms of these phones and social networks, because social networking, one of the things that Facebook is so hyped about is the fact that the potential for specifically targeting, or very specifically targeting people in terms of the advertisements they see, making ads very relevant to a specific group or an individual. That's huge. Think about, why is Google so successful? Well, it's really their ad revenue that they're able to generate. Why are they able to generate ad revenue at such a high amount in terms of cost per click? Because they're able to say, look, if somebody's going to search for this term, you want to show up, your ad wants to show up. Or if somebody visits these certain types of sites, your ad will show up. It's targeting. They're able to target better than other companies are in terms of specifying the potential consumer and specifying the provider of whatever good or service is and matching the two. Facebook goes to another level because they have more information to go off of in terms of your likes, your interests, whatever the inclination may be, and match you with whoever the provider of a good or service is, so they can add or obtain a greater amount of revenue from that person that is providing that good or service. I hope that's clear. What mobile phones are doing are they're bringing this to you, not in the sense that I have to go onto my PC, log in, check my Facebook. It's something that's with me all the time. I'm online 24/7, and therefore there's greater potential there. There's also the potential of being mobile. So you may be in your home city 90% of the time, but when you venture out, you also have the potential of whoever the person that's marketing to you to be able to define, well, you're now in Los Angeles. Let me tailor the ads to you so that you're in LA. And that's just, if you think about it, that's just one opportunity that marketers now have that wasn't available really, a couple of years ago. It's something that's totally new, and it's something that has greater potential for companies that are seeking customers, and then just the company that is providing that advertising service to allow company to match with consumer. Very interesting. There's so many other applications that are going to develop that many of them probably aren't even known to the general public right now. And that's where I come back to creative destruction. In this industry, or in these two sectors of social networking and mobile phones, you're going to see a great amount of creative destruction. You're going to have certain companies come on with certain ideas that are going to be successful, and then other companies are going to come along with a similar idea that's tweaked a little bit and essentially destroy the other competitor because it's clear that their concept, their model, is just a little bit better. Think about MySpace and Facebook. MySpace a couple of years ago was the ticket. Facebook was the stepchild. But Facebook, through their model of social networking on a number of areas, was seen to be superior to MySpace, and therefore they have been able to thrive. And MySpace is, looking, News Corp's trying to sell them off because essentially they're wasted space right now. Being a growth investor and being oriented towards growth, you should be able to identify a handful of companies in this area with good prospects for implementing their new concept or new technology in whether it's mobile or social or both areas of those sectors, and potentially reap some great rewards. Again, it's very risky because these are new emerging technologies, and all these companies are then adding their new technology that fits in with the new social and mobile technologies that are coming out. Therefore, there's going to be a lot of people weeded out in the process. But if you're able to, hit a few home runs, it might be very profitable for you. So, being a growth investor, my investment philosophy is not purely growth, but I do look at growth stocks, obviously. I would want to go out and start doing some research and get in really on the ground floor of a couple companies and see what happens in terms of their growth and development. Again, it's nice being in an area that's trendy, and not trendy in a bad way, but trendy as far as just gaining momentum within the general public, because you don't necessarily have to have the smartest, brightest, best management in the world of a company. As long as they don't screw up horribly, they should be able to garner some success. Now, that might not be a long-term thing, but that could be a short-term thing. So keep that in mind, and I definitely think social, mobile, two areas that very important to the growth investor in the next couple of years. So thank you for tuning in. Comments always welcome below. Thank you.